Okay, well, hello everybody. Today I'm doing an interview, which I haven't done an interview for ages, with my sister. Yay! Who is a dancer called Rose Noir, is your stage name, isn't it? So introduce yourself.
I'm a fusion belly dancer and burlesque performer, and I also do some modelling as well.
So what's fusion belly dance? What does that mean?
So obviously you have your traditional types of belly dance that most people might be more familiar with, which is like your Egyptian or Turkic. Fusion belly dance it's similar to tribal fusion or Gothic belly dance, and you incorporate other different dance styles or alternative music into that.
Oh right, so you can do like contemporary music.
Yeah, you can do contemporary belly dance. There's been like flamenco fusions with belly dance. I do the more kind of tribal and Gothic fusions, but it can kind of cover everything. So I mainly do the tribal and Gothic, but I like to try out and incorporate other styles as well, so that's why I go with more just the fusion belly dance.
Okay, so I thought it'd be really interesting for us to do a bit of an interview so that we can talk about kind of another creative industry, because we all have similarities, don't we? And although I know a lot of the people who watch my channel will be writers or readers and sort of bookish people, I think it's still interesting to look at, yeah, as I say, another creative industry and talk to you about that. So can you talk about how you got into dancing and like what's your history?
Well, I grew up in Saudi Arabia, and my parents moved there when my mum was pregnant with me. And I grew up on loads of Bollywood films and Bollywood music, and I just really liked that sound. And when I moved back to the UK, I felt very homesick for living in the Middle East. And I remember going to a festival with my mum, and they had an Egyptian belly dancer there, and I just remember thinking, oh, that's the music that I grew up listening to, and I really enjoyed it. And I loved watching the movements as well. It was just not something I'd seen before. So when I was about 15, I asked my mum if I could start some belly dance classes in Aylesbury, and I found a place, and there was also a girl similar to my age, which when I was 15, I felt more comfortable with that as well. So I was belly dancing in Egyptian style in Aylesbury for my first couple of years, and we used to go around doing like different festivals and shows around Buckinghamshire. And then I moved to Leicester to go to university there, and I was looking for somewhere to do belly dancing. And I'd always watched tribal fusion belly dances and Gothic belly dances on YouTube, and I always thought that style looks really cool. It's very different, and it really stands out to me. And I came across that they actually hold Gothler in Leicester, which is where they have the Gothic Belly Dance Festival. And they had a teacher called Dodi Muir, who runs Skytribe Dance Studio, who taught tribal fusion belly dance and did the Gothic style I'd been watching. And I was really excited to learn that. And then I was dancing with her troupe, Skytribe, for a while. And then she also teaches a burlesque class.
Right.
And with a burlesque troupe called the Chicas Locas, which perform as well. And that's the first time I ever heard or saw burlesque, and it just looked so amazing to me that these women could have so much confidence on stage, and it was so playful and creative, and I just wanted to do that as well. So I joined her burlesque troupe, and been doing that ever since. So now I'm back in Aylesbury, and I'm just performing as a solo dancer under the name Rose Noir for the fusion belly dance and burlesque. And I'll be teaching beginner classes on the 27th of September.
It's exciting.
So I'll have some introduction workshops on Sunday the 27th, and then regular weekly classes from the following Wednesday every week.
And I'll link everything below. Obviously, not everybody's going to be local to you, but people might be interested in like watching your dances online and stuff. Sorry, my daughter's just walked in. What's that? Yeah, so people might not be able to, they might not be local to you, but people can check out your YouTube videos and that, can't they? Because you record your dances, don't you, and put them on YouTube.
Yeah, I think it's a nice little digital dance portfolio that you can have on there. And plus, not everyone can come to a show, so I think it's nice just to have somewhere to put what you've done.
Yeah, that's true. And you made a video recently about tips for modelling, because you do a bit of modelling as well, don't you?
Yeah, so I've been doing modelling for about 5 years now, and I really enjoy that. And I think, again, it's a very creative thing to do, and I really enjoy doing it. And you can bring like your belly dance and burlesque into modelling. But there was just a few tips that I found on the way that have always kept me safe that I don't think all models know. So I wanted to do a video just giving different safety tips for any young models who are 18 just starting out, just because not everyone has the good experiences I've had, where I've been very fortunate to work with very good photographers
Mm-hmm.
Or from the get-go sat me down, have coffee with me before starting a shoot, going, this is what you should do to keep yourself safe. And just ideas like never do a shoot without a chaperone there, to make sure that you've got someone there to see if you're okay. And just different things like that have made sure that I've always had a good experience with it.
Because it can make you quite vulnerable, really, can't it? There was one tip that, because some of the stuff that you said, I was like, oh yeah, I think I would probably do that. But the one that got me was you saying about making sure that you're planning to go home, you're under your own steam, and that you've got like enough money for a bus fare or whatever it is, and that you're not relying on them to take you home, because obviously you can't like storm out of a shoot and then be like, could you just, you know, or
just one of the mistakes I have made. I had a shoot where I didn't really get along that well with the photographer. Obviously, I didn't have a bad experience where he was doing anything to me. I had a chaperone there, but he was going to give me and my chaperone a lift home, and I had to put up with a lot of inappropriate comments from him. So because we were relying on a lift, I can't really say anything to upset him, because I still need that lift home. Whereas if I've got my own car, I've got my own taxi money, if he's saying anything inappropriate to me, I can go, okay, well, I'm done, I'm going now.
Yeah, or if it's just not working, at least you can just go, do you know what, let's not. Oh, my screen is frozen, but hopefully it'll come back in a second. What is with the internet today? Worked so well the other day. Oh, we're back.
But at least because I had my chaperone there, all I could get was inappropriate comments. Nothing else happened because I've got someone in the room with me. So again, it's even if you do have a bad photographer, those kinds of things help you out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so all of your dancing and your modelling is all you're an independent, creative lady. You because I call these interviews indie interviews, because I think that because independents don't have the same platform that other people do, it's quite nice to be able to kind of share the love and help each other out when you've not got a publisher or an agent or a whatever it is. But yeah, you're completely independent as well, aren't you, as a dancer?
Yeah, so one of the things I liked about the university course that I chose was you could kind of apply it to any art style instead of it being like a drama course. So they say, oh, this is how you perform, go off and apply for auditions and things like that. I don't like the idea of waiting for a phone call to say, oh, you can work now, waiting for an agent to find me work, or, you know, you've been like seeing if you can get an agent. Whereas I prefer the idea if I do everything myself, make my own website, do my own marketing and advertising, do my own budgeting, find my own work, it puts me more in control, so I know what am I trying to say. So it's things like if there's any work that comes up that I'm not comfortable with, I'm not forced to do it. Because I know with some modelling agencies, if it's, oh, this is the work that you've got, this is what we're going to pay you for it. If it's something I'm not comfortable with, I don't have to accept it. I guess I'm only applying for the stuff that I want to do.
Would you get the situation where if you were turning things down, they might stop giving you work as well? Would that happen?
I'm not too sure, but I just because I know that you have to do a certain amount of work, and I know that they're the ones that finding it for you. But I've never felt comfortable with someone saying that this is the shoot you need to go to, and I know that if I left and it's like my word against theirs, of, oh, they said this to me and I felt it was inappropriate, I didn't feel comfortable with that, if there'd be any issues with that way. But at least if it's me, I'm speaking to the photographer, I'm seeking them out, I know models that have worked with them before, they said, oh yeah, I've had a good experience with them, I can arrange to meet them for coffee and have a chat before we even do the photo shoot. I can kind of put those steps in place. So I don't know if you can do that with an agency, where I can go meet them for a coffee first to see if it's the kind of person I want to work with.
I suppose as well, because the kind of modelling you do like lingerie and implied nude and things like that as well. So I guess you have to be quite, you know what you want to do, you know who you want to work with. So it's quite good being on your own, that you can say, right, this is what I'm doing and I call the shots. I guess that works really well.
Yeah, and you set all your own boundaries as well. Yeah. And plus, even though you can be the most confident person in the world, but you need to make sure that whoever's taking those photos of you, they still have those of you, and you need to make sure that you're comfortable with that person having those photos of you and you know what they're going to do with them.
Mm-hmm. And I guess, I mean, it has parallels with writing, because for me it's like creatively, I want to be able to do what I want to do and not have to change things because somebody feels I should, and release things when I want to and how I want to, and they look how I want. So I guess, you know, there are similarities there with just being able to have your own creative vision, I suppose.
Yeah, it's like I tend to, especially for the nude stuff, because that for me is obviously a bit more personal, I tend to work with the same photographers for those ones as well, because I know them, I trust them, I know plenty of other models that work with them. I've worked with like the same ones over like the past couple of years, and I feel very comfortable with those photographers. So that's why if it's anyone new I'm working with, I'll tend to just do fashion first, or like if they're just looking for that kind of a model.
You've done a variety of stuff, haven't you? You've done all sorts of kind of creative, because you shared a picture the other day of like a princess shoot that you've done, and
it was a photographer called Liv. She makes headdresses and costumes for things like the Tudors that you see on TV. It makes all those kind of costumes. So it was just modelling some of the headdresses and things she made. But yeah, it just kind of adds to your portfolio of the different things you can do, and plus it's just nice to play dress up for a day as well.
It's there's a whole variety of stuff. I think it's really, really nice.
But the backstage stuff that no one really thinks about, because obviously you see a photo and you think, oh, that must be like a big set, that must be like so glamorous, and it was me and this photographer walking through her local village in Lincoln, with me in this princess dress, trying to go, that's a nice tree next to the road. Sit by the tree, and obviously there's all the cars going past, and I'm as dressed as a princess by this tree. It's just, I like what goes behind a picture rather than the actual picture itself.
Yeah, I know what you mean actually, because I took some pictures at uni, because I wanted to do like some arty music pictures, and a friend of mine took them, like it was nothing, no professional photographer or anything, we were just larking about, and we went to Dartmoor, and I was like wearing an evening gown on Dartmoor, and everybody thought I was famous or something. But everybody, there was like one family, and they came up and like, oh wow, what's this for? I was like, you're gonna be so disappointed. But yeah, people just watching me like standing. It was winter as well, just standing on a rock in Dartmoor. It's great, it's really funny. So how do you go about finding work then? Because I guess it's different for me. It's like I write a book, I publish it. How do you find a dance job or a modelling job?
So for the modelling, I use sites like Purple Paw, which is a little bit like Facebook, but for photographers and models, makeup artists, and anything in between that's involved in a photo shoot. You can just put a post when they're saying, I'm looking for a model, or I'm looking for a photographer, this is my idea, this is my rate for this, or this is what I'm willing to pay for that. And you can just apply for any of the jobs that come up on there. Or if I've got an idea, I can post things saying, oh, I really want to try this. If there's a photographer that would like to collaborate with me, because sometimes you can just do that as well.
Right.
There's some good opportunities on there. I've seen things where you can apply for different well-paid shoots in different countries. I've seen some quite nice, it's usually beaches on Spain, like, oh, we need some bikini models, that kind of thing.
Oh, wow. So could a writer go on there and book somebody for a cover shoot if somebody had an idea? Would that be something somebody could do?
Yeah, so if you were looking to have, for like your illustration, maybe like a photo of a model, it, like as the character from your book or something like that, and have that edited, I'm sure there'd be something that they could do, because I know a lot of the photographers on there will obviously be very good for Photoshop and to be able to edit something like that.
And can you find people that are local as well? Oh. Like if you wanted to meet somebody and you went, oh, okay, that's quite cool.
So, and obviously you can also make up artists that can do like, because the lady that did my headdress for that photo shoot, she was a makeup artist as well, and did like fairy tale makeup for me.
Right, okay, so you can literally find everything that you might want. That's really cool. And then dance-wise, is that you just sort of have a community that you work with that do shows, and how does that work?
So being in a community definitely helps. So when I was dancing with the Sky Tribe belly dancers and Chicas Locas, we used to perform around Leicester, so I built up connections that way. And then for Dodie, she runs her own spring shows and summer shows, and like every season we'll have like a show for like all of our classes, and you can do solos for them. It was just a case of someone saw one of my solos and said, oh, can I pay you to dance that, this thing I'm holding? Yeah. Then you put at that event, and then someone says, oh, I really enjoyed that, could you perhaps do something similar to this event I've got next month? And you kind of get booked that way. So then I thought, well, if I'm getting booked to these different events, because for me I was getting booked for bands playing at different music shows, because I belly dance to metal music, so I have bands. Oh, that's really cool. Can you do that metal belly dance at the interval for my show? That's really cool. So I started doing belly dancing for that, but then I had to kind of learn to adapt a bit, because I found a lot of the venues that hold bands is not the same as venues that hold dance shows. And I had to learn to belly dance in very small cramped places with band equipment everywhere.
Yeah, I'd like to see that for my band actually, please.
Yeah, that's fine. But I just found that kind of gave me a bit of a niche.
Yeah.
So I did belly dance or do burlesque, because I do burlesque to metal music as well. And I would do it in bands intervals when they're changing over.
That's really cool. I thought it was interesting as well. I remember you saying that that with, I think it was with the with Sky Tribe, that you get to dance solos, like you don't have to have done it before to be allowed to do it.
Yeah.
To give you that first opportunity, which must be quite hard.
Yeah, because obviously if you're dancing with a group for classes, sometimes you're not quite ready to feel like you want to dance on your own. And I think her shows are very good for just try and get that experience of, at least even if you just do it once, you go, oh, I did it once.
Yeah.
And you can have friends and family there, and it's such a supportive environment. I think it's the best place to try out doing solo. Like even now, it's the first place I want to, if I've got new material, I want to do it at her show first, because I know it's such a nice environment. You can kind of test material out there as well.
I found it really interesting actually coming to see you, because I don't know what the ideas were of burlesque really, but it's not something that if I saw a poster that I'd be like, yeah, I want to go, if you know what I mean. Like I didn't have an opinion of it necessarily, but it wasn't, so, you know, I only went because it was you. And I was really blown away by the atmosphere of it. It was just like really inclusive. The audience was full of all different kinds of people. The dancers were all different kinds of people. And there was just something for everybody. And it was not anything really to do with like sexuality. It was to do with people expressing creative ideas. And it was so positive. And all the cheering. The lady who was the compere was so like, right, we're cheering everybody, and got everybody riled up. So it was just this lovely atmosphere. It was brilliant.
I've always found the reasons I love belly dance and burlesque so much is, to me, even though they seem like they're sexual dancers and they're into entice men, it's got nothing to do with that at all. It's all about your self-expression, your self-confidence, and more just about you feeling good about yourself. So I know with both belly dance and burlesque, it's so inclusive. You get male belly dancers, male burlesque dancers. You can be any size, any gender. It really doesn't matter. I feel like you have such a variety of people from different backgrounds. And that's what I think is so nice about it.
Yeah, and I really got that when I came to see you.
And that's always what made me feel comfortable. It's like even things like, I don't know many dance styles where they'd accept an 8-month pregnant person dancing at a festival. I think it was Zoe Jake. She's a very well-known tribal fusion belly dancer. And she does a show in America, and she belly danced all the way through her pregnancy. And it's just nice that was celebrated as well. I thought that was really nice.
Actually, that I don't know if this is true, but that belly dancing, because it's sort of so linked in with like femininity and all that kind of thing, and that it can help with like pregnancy and labour, and that there are belly dancers who like dance through their labour and stuff.
It is originated from like a fertility dance, so it's like the hip movements that you have and the belly movements are very good for if you're pregnant. Also very good for PMS as well. If you do have quite bad period cramps, doing some hip circles or hip movements can be very good to relieve pain as well. So I will belly dance if I have very painful PMS.
That's really interesting. Yeah, it's fascinating.
Whenever I am pregnant, I will fully test out and see if it is good for pregnancy as well, and let you know and come back to you on that one.
Please. So you must be really affected by the current situation then, because personally, although I've got 3 kids at home, which makes it quite challenging to write anything or sit down and have any kind of creative thought, but for you, like, you must be really affected by all this. I know that it's not your day job, so there's that. But
yeah, so I have an office job as my muggle job to help pay with rent and stuff while I could do dancing on my weekends and things. But yeah, so I've had a lot of different shows that I've had over the next couple of months cancelled just because of the current situation we're in. So all I can really do now is I've been working on my website, making sure that I can, while I have the time, put everything on there. So I've got links to my YouTube on there, my Instagram, different social media, and just putting when my classes will be starting in September, and just as much different things on there as well. I'm adding a modelling portfolio to that as well. So I want to look at doing more YouTube videos. I thought while I can't actively go out and dance, I can get a camera and maybe film myself dancing in some local woods that we have. Something like that maybe. Just while I have the time.
Get your wings out.
Just try to fit as much as I can. I want to carry on with my modelling series where I'm just giving tips for models if you're starting out and you're new, because I feel like I could rant on that for hours. Just there's so much advice I think I wish I had when I was 18 starting out. So I'd like to continue with that. I also want to look at doing some online classes. because obviously if the pandemic goes further in September, I don't know how I don't know what the current situation will be like with actually going to a studio and teaching. So I want to look at if online classes will be the way to go going forward. But even so, I think one of the things we're reflecting on is maybe online classes as well as studio classes would be a good idea, because I know that since we're very open now with anxiety, depression, things like that, I know that not everyone may feel comfortable being in a class with loads of people seeing them, and maybe an online class would be more comfortable for some people.
Yeah.
So I have put on my website that if you'd like to arrange online classes with me, that's something I'm completely open to doing, and just to drop me an email and we can sort something out that way as well.
I really hope that the current situation leads to more things like that, because it's been really nice seeing all the like innovative ideas, innovative ways that people have been using technology. I mean, a lot of writers have been doing things like storytelling, and things like tips and Q&As and all of that. I mean, obviously for a writer, our main job is just to sit alone anyway. So, but you know, other creators, I mean, my daughter's going to be doing dance lessons online, and I've done a karate lesson online. And like, if somebody specifically wanted you to teach them, it means that even if they don't live around the Aylesbury area, they can have you as their teacher, which is just awesome.
Yeah, and I mean, you can also arrange it at a time that suits you, because I know that obviously when I have my studio classes, that's on a Wednesday evening, because I know that's the time I can fit in my schedule. I know that might not suit everyone else. If an online class is easier for someone, they can say, oh, well, I'm free at this time on this day, and you can kind of book something in with them that way as well. So I think that might be easier for people.
Yeah, hopefully it just opens up a lot of opportunities for people to be able to work in new ways and be really flexible, and hopefully like that will be a really nice positive outcome. But
well, I think one of the good things is the pandemic has shown people how much you can actually do online, and there is ways you can kind of fit those in. I think actually having a face-to-face class in a studio, for me, that's always been my preference. I like having the person in front of me, but I know that not everyone's like that. I know I've got friends who would be petrified to go to an actual dance class, feeling like everyone's looking at them. So I think it would be a good option to look at doing both online and in studio.
Yeah, and I think I think it would be really valuable in some ways, being able to have both of those options. There was something I was going to say, and I was like really ready with something really insightful, and it's just gone.
Well, one of the things that I was looking at, because I was trying to think about what would be good to kind of suit most people's, what they would be more comfortable with, because I know that I want to offer online classes where it's like this at Skype, so I can obviously communicate with them and see how they're doing and let them know, you know, oh, maybe you just need to move a bit more like this. But I know that some people might not be as comfortable with that idea. So I want to also look at online classes that are pre-recorded, so I can send them a link and it's just they follow that tutorial.
Yeah.
Because I do a lot of those as well. I follow some online tutorials where they're pre-recorded, so I'm just following that, just to do some different drills.
I know what I was going to say is I think it's been really interesting with the pandemic of how people have been talking about creativity and the fact that it's suddenly so important because we're bored, you know. And also the conversations that have happened about paying for creativity and not expecting creators to give away content for free. And I just think all those conversations have been really important to have.
Yeah, I think it's making people see the real value of anything creative, because I know the amount of shows I've had, both from being a student and when I've been doing my dancing and modelling as well, of, oh, this would be good exposure, this would be good experience. But if you think I have something valuable to give to you, you know, to work with, then I should be at least paid something for that.
Yeah, and a lot of work goes into what you do. You know, a dance must take a long time to choreograph. And could you choreograph your own dances, right?
Yeah, I choreograph everything myself. Obviously, you have to invest money in your costumes, your makeup. Sometimes, depending on what I'm doing, I can't always choreograph everything in my own house. Sometimes I have to rent out a studio. If I'm using big fan veils, they take up a lot of space. I might have to rent out a studio to go practice that in. A lot of time and money goes into prepping just one dance. Even though you see 3 minutes on stage, there's been a good few months investment and money into that as well.
Yeah,
and obviously if you want something that looks professional on stage, you want to make sure that you've got the money for professional looking costumes as well.
Yeah, and I mean,
obviously
if people look, they can see how much you've done.
Yeah, because obviously you can make things yourself, and adding rhinestones to a lot of things can make it look more expensive than it actually was. But even so, like, if you've ever rhinestoned anything, that takes a very long time to do.
Yeah. No, you've got some amazing costumes, and everybody should go and have a look at your videos and your beautiful Instagram pictures as well. I'll obviously link all that below. But you're Rose Noir on like everything, aren't you?
Yeah, pretty much everything.
And I really like your Berserk belly dance, because I was there, so and I filmed it. Although I probably shouldn't admit to that because it's terrible. The dancing's amazing, but the filming is chonky. And your Isis Wings dance as well is just amazing. I really like that.
So the LED Isis Wings always gets booked around Christmas because it's just all pretty lights.
Yeah, you can be all sparkly.
Yeah.
Oh, well, everybody go and check out my lovely sister. And yeah, as I say, where are you? Instagram, you've got your new website, which I'll link once it's up and running. It's not yet, is it? And Facebook.
And I just need to do a few more tweaks. I need to add a domain to it still, but it's almost ready.
It does look lovely.
Thank you.
Are you on Twitter?
I do have Twitter. I don't use it that much, but I have it.
Okay, it exists. Okay. But yeah, go and check Marie out, and if you're in the area in September, go and dance. Sorry, Marie, I'm using your real name, Rose.
Fine.
Yeah, go and do some dance lessons, and hopefully you might be doing some like little tutorials and tips and things on your channel anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, yeah, I will say goodbye for now, and thank you for coming and having a chat about everything that you do.
And thank you for having me.
Thank you. Bye.